Hello nail friends, and welcome back to another Honey Doll Nails video. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so that you may be notified of all future videos. Hello nail friends, how are you doing today? I hope that you are well. Today, I am doing a set of what she asked for, what she got. My client came to me with this picture, and these are the nails I created. Don't know if this is how the girl created the nails in the beginning, but this is how I came up with creating this set of nails. So first we're going to be using Schizoids black and white, and then I have all my pigment powders laid out how I want them to go on the nail. First I am using white. Just a regular white will do. I am probably going to be doing 2 coats, but to be honest with you, it all depends on how pigmented your white is. If your white is really pigmented, then I say you only really need 1 coat. So I'm going to go ahead on and put this in the dryer. Now the trick to doing pigment is not to wipe off the tacky layer. I'm going to say that again. Do not wipe off the tacky layer. You're going to need the tacky layer in order for your pigment powders to adhere to the gel. So I am using a pigment powder brush. You do not have to use this. You can use a regular brush. You can even use an eyeshadow thing that you put your eyeshadow on with. You can use that if you want to. But I'm starting with green. And one thing about pigment is try to dust it off a little bit. It will get everywhere. So you may need to put on a mask, goggles, face shield, whatever. Do not have a fan blowing because your stuff will be blowing everywhere. So I am just starting with no rhyme, no reason. I'm just throwing colors everywhere. Now, I will say this, depending on how you want the nails to look, then you orchestrate your colors according to that. In order for me to do this set and to make it look as rainbow random as possible, you're going to see me just dabbing on everywhere. I'm pressing down pretty hard. And really, I blew it off, but really if you had a client, you would just take your brush, your blush brush, your nail brush, and just wipe it off that way. So I'm just, putting it in little spaces, however I want to. And then I am wiping off my brush in between. You see me wiping off my brush in between, because one thing about it, I don't want to contaminate my other colors. I don't want to mix colors together in their pods. This is a messy, messy situation. So if your client would like a full set of these on their own hands, just let them know it's very messy. Be sure to give them some goggles, okay? Be sure to give them a mask. Pigment powder is very chalky and it flies and it will get in your throat. So just be aware of that. All right, now I'm just taking my brush and I'm just going to brush away the excess. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up my table because I have pigment powder everywhere. So any little spaces that I see that need a little color, I just look at it and go back over it and put the color where I need it to be. All right, so that is the second step. After I have put on my white, not wiped off the tacky, put on my pigment random, then I'm gonna brush everything off, make sure there's no loose powder, clean my table. I'm gonna put this nail back on the stand because we're getting ready to seal it. So before I even put on any black, I'm gonna seal what I've already done. So now that my table is clean and everything is good for me, I am going to take my Builder Gel, X-Coat Tips Builder Gel number 1, and I am going to seal my product. Now, if you don't have that, use base coat. Use something that you can seal it with, not top coat, because we're not finished. You just need to seal it. Because, why am I sealing it? Because if I make a mistake with the black, we all know how black is, it stains. I can wipe it off without messing up the pigment. So I sealed the pigment. I'm getting ready to put it up underneath the lamp and dry it. Once it's dry, then I'm gonna wipe off the tacky layer, and then I'm gonna put my black on. But just in case if I make a mistake with the black, I want something in between the black and the pigment. I am using 2 of my dotting tools, my smallest dotting tool and my medium dotting tool. I'm going to put some black on this palette here. And the technique that I used is not to draw a circle, because actually you can use a regular paintbrush to do it, but I wanted it to be kind of random. So you're going to see me take my dotting tool, get a little bit of black on it, and then you're going to see me make a circle. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my hand strategically so it doesn't look like a circle. It's in a circle, but the circle is pulled and manipulated from using my dotting tool. All right, so I've wiped that off. I'm not worried about no spaces because black is going to cover up all the mistakes I made. If I wiped off anything, that's all right. So I'm going to start here in the corner, and you see me just wiggle, squiggle, pulling down. Wiggle, squiggle, pull down. That's my first circle. In between that, I'm going to be putting dots. And later on, I'm going to go back and manipulate my dots. But right now, I'm going to take my time and make my circles. Some of them will be small. Some of them will be big. Some of them will touch. Some of them will not. Please forgive my autofocus. It'll clear up in a minute. So I learned one thing about when I am imitating someone else's art. I have no idea how she came up with this design. She could have airbrushed it. I don't know that. Okay? Or she could have stamped it. I don't know that. Or she could have gelled it and ombre it that way. I don't know that. Only thing I know is when I looked at it and I'm trying to figure out how somebody came up with the design that they did, I look at the layers. I see how many layers is underneath the top. And I was like, well, the fastest way for me to do this design without making so many mistakes in it is to just use my pigment powder, seal my powder, and then make my circles, but pull on the circles. So just trust the process. Just trust the process. Because at first when you're doing it, you're like, oh God, this doesn't look so good. But just trust the process. When it comes down to prints in nature, it's all different sizes and shapes. Now you can make the circles smaller, but then it would take you longer. So if she had a stamper and she stamped it, that would have been just 1, 2, 3. But you could take this design, you could do this design in 2 colors, 3 colors, 5 colors, 8 colors, 20 colors, 2 colors, even 1 color. You could just do a red nail with white circles on it. You know, Christmas is coming up. Gold and white. You can do neons. You could do it in so many different ways. So don't forget to make half circles. Some of the circles aren't complete. So take your time with this design, have some fun with it. I know I did. I've created this set twice already. So after you have finished with everything, I'm going to go in with my smaller dotting tool and make some smaller prints inside. So far it looks good. It's running together. That's great. I would not suggest that you use blooming gel with this because it might bloom too much. Because while you're doing this, it's running a little bit anyway. That's why it's kind of thick and it looks kind of wet. So you're going to put it in the dryer and let it dry longer than normal, because we always talk about how black is very thick pigment and it takes a little while for it to dry underneath the lamp. So once it is cured, I cured it like 10 minutes. Once it's cured and I'm secure that it's cured. Because if it's not cured, when you get ready to put anything over top of it, your black is going to bleed. And trust me, you don't want that. You will have to do that nail all over again. That's why you want to make absolutely sure that your black is dry. I had to learn that out the hard way. Okay, so the nail is complete. The only thing I need to do now is put it underneath the lamp. For the actual photo, the nail was matte. My client did not want the matte. My client wanted shiny. So I ended up turning them all shiny. But anyway, here's a reveal. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Watch Me Work, this little demo. So glad you came and stopped by today. Have a wonderful and blessed day until we see each other again, nail friends.